Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you're doing good this evening. I hope everything's going well. Well, today it was a beautiful fall day and I pretty much got a chore done that I really needed to get done. If you've been watching my videos, my soil wasn't real good this year in my garden and I need to amend it. And so I'm going to do a couple videos coming up, one on where I'm going to put my corn and one where I'm going to put my potatoes. Now, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to amend it, but in this video, I'm going to show you how I got some of the materials that I needed. So I needed to get all this before I make those other videos. So what I actually did was I made a yard vacuum. That right there. Now, I did this really quick. A little bit of engineering went into this, and I'm just going to show you. It's nothing pretty, but guys, if you're thinking about making one of these, I'm going to go over what I liked and what I didn't like, what did and didn't work, and maybe you can see something on my design that might work better if you've already made one, because it's not perfect by any stretch, but it does work. So let's get into it. The first thing is how to attach it to my mower. I have a 0-turn mower, and I wanted it to be solid to the mower, where it was all basically one piece, because the discharge on there, the discharge pipe, I didn't want it getting tight and getting loose and getting, as you make a turn like with a regular trailer. So this is what I did. I put a bolt here on a piece of unistrut, and I just ran it through and I bolted it right to the frame. And then I got, this is called a foot for a unistrut. I put a bolt in here, and then I bolted it to the trailer. Now, the part I like about this design is I can take this out, or this out right here, and the trailer's off. So it's really fast, it's really quick, it's easy. The part I don't like about this is turning and everything. It seems like this always wants to loosen up. So far it has been kind of a battle to keep these tight. I got to keep an eye on them. So that part I didn't like. I'm probably going to change this design somehow. Now the trailer itself, it's just plywood, 2x4s, nothing hard, nothing real basic, just a 4x8 sheet of plywood. I had some metal, I drilled some holes, and then I put some screws in to kind of reinforce this, because there is a lot of tension on there, when I'm mowing with it and stuff. I just want to make sure that doesn't break. Now, what I did, you can see that right there. All that is just a piece of conduit, and I just zip tied this tarp to it. I went ahead and I drilled a hole right here with like a paddle bit, and it just sticks down in there. So it comes in and out really easy. I hold the tarp on just with a bungee cord, and I got a screw underneath there. So that part there, the tarp comes off in no time. The poles come out in no time. If I wanted to, I could use that as a trailer to haul stuff around the yard. So that's kind of a big plus to this design too. Now, if you can imagine, you can't use regular wheels with this type of design, because when you're making a turn, the wheels have to turn with it. So what I actually did is I got wheels that are like on a caster, and let me see if I can get up in there and show you. Maybe. Yeah, you can see that allows them to just kind of spin around. So that was a big thing with this design, because like I say, I want the trailer to be straight, and I'll show you why here in just a second. Now this is ugly. This is pure ugliness here. All I did was just cut a couple holes because you want to vent that air. When you're blowing all that in, you'll want to leave some holes. I'm probably going to make this better next year. The other side of the tarp, all I did was just staple it, and it's holding pretty good. You can see where it's getting torn in places. Again, it was a cheap tarp. Now this is where the problem started. Okay, I bought a boot, a mower boot online. So I went to attach it. I cut the hole. Everything was good with that, not a problem. So I went to attach it, and what I actually did was I welded a bracket on here. I just made this out of, thin gauge metal. Now here's an issue. You can see this it's tight, but these want to loosen up too. And I don't like this design basically because I welded another bracket here. These are really hard to get to. When I put these on, and the first time I tried it, this part here just kept flopping, and so I put an eye bolt right here and a washer, a nut, and I ran this to the frame, to the mower deck. This thing is really solid. The whole thing moves. That part I'm happy about. I just don't like the fact that it is just so hard to get off. Now, the mower boot itself, this part here was 6-inch. Guys, I've tried making lawn vacuums in the past. 6-inch, in my opinion, just isn't big enough. You want to go minimum 8 inches. So to make a long story short, I started out using stovepipe. And I tried a 6x8 reducer, and it just kept clogging up and clogging up. And so what I ended up doing, again, this is rough, but I cut this down. I cut this way back. I took a piece of 8-inch stovepipe, and I cut like V's in it around it, and I basically reduced it down, and then I sheet metal screwed it together. Now, as a rough guess, I'm going to say this is roughly about 7 inches in diameter. Not too bad, and it really is sturdy. That part I don't have a problem with. I just wish I had a little bit bigger discharge because it still does want to get clogged up. Now, I've got flex pipe on there right now, and let me show you what I like about this. See how it's pretty straight? And I can actually even get it straighter than that. The problem with the stovepipe was right in here, as it came out straight, if you can see it, about right in here, I had to have a fitting to get that to turn into the trailer. Well, that's a restriction of flow. And so that caused problems. And you can buy a 90 for stovepipe and it turns and stuff, but over time it ended up breaking just because it moved so much and everything, and I kept readjusting it. The other problem with stovepipe is right here was where I had the first connection on my stovepipe, and it's a male-female connection. Well, when you raise and lower the deck, this moves up and down, and there's a slight back and forth. So this part kept wanting to come apart. I kept constantly having to readjust all that, and it was just a huge pain. I had a bracket on it kind of like this, except I had it really tight trying to hold it and keep everything in place where it would stay together, but yet it was still free moving. Guys, for me, it didn't work. And so if I were going to do something like that again, I would have to find some way of having that female piece a little bit longer where it would stay in. It just, like I say, it wasn't a failure. It was, you know, it just didn't work the way I wanted it to. Now, I bought this flex hose, 17 bucks. I knew it wasn't going to last. I've only used it one day. Today is the only day that I've used it. And we've already got a hole. And we've got some, got some holes down here. I can duct tape it, make it last for the rest of the season. I'm going to get enough organic matter that I need, so it's not a problem. But again, I like the flex hose. I really do. It's good to keep straight and everything. It just needs to be a little more rugged. Now this is how I'm attaching it. I just got zip ties and I zip tied it to one of the PVC conduits. Nothing there. And the thing I do like about this is if it gets clogged up, I can pull it out of that zip tie really fast. All I got to do is just pull that off. I can pull this part out, and this thing, because it's like an accordion, I can get in there and I can just dig it out and clean it out. If it does get clogged up, I can unclog it in just a few minutes and it goes back together really easy. So I like that part of it. So let me show you how the tarp comes off and what I do when I unload it, okay? Because I do like this part too. So all I do, I just get down here, I can pull that off, and I can pull, like I say, it really is easy, and I'm trying to do this one-handed, so you'll have to excuse the camera. And so far I haven't had any problems with this at all. Okay. So all I do, and be careful, these will come up and smack you. See, I can just pull them right out. Got to dig in there for that one. And so that's what it is. That's what it looks like on the inside. And like I say, all I do is just take a rake it out. That part I like. Like I say, there's some things I like about it and some things I don't. Some things I'm going to have to change. But again, I could never get this much leaves and grass and organic matter in one day doing it by hand. So it really is going to help my gardening. It's going to help next year, I hope. Hopefully I get better corn and better potatoes. So that's the video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you like it or not. And you know, like I say, it's a work in progress. So all right, well, hey, you guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you later.